Hey everyone, it's Sel here from Seljoy, and we are back with another video. And today I'm going to be highlighting something a little different. So as a musician, from time to time I get the chance to go out and play and gig, and for this particular event that I have coming up, I've put together a certain setup that's going to work well for this type of venue. So one of the things I take into consideration is the size of the venue, how much gear I need to bring, how many parts I'm actually going to have to play at this event. And so I've put together a quick setup, something with lightweight keyboards, but a powerhouse worth of sound inside my iPad. So today I'm not going to be looking at Logic. Today I'm going to be looking at AUM. Now on the desktop side of things, Logic has a live performance companion software called MainStage, which most of the Mac users and performers will be familiar with. However, on the iPad, we don't have MainStage just yet as of the date of this recording. So if Apple decides to do something amazing with MainStage for the iPad, I'm all in. I think it's going to be crazy, ridiculous, and give us so much functionality because of this multi-touch surface that can pretty much take the shape of anything. So hopefully the Apple team is hard at work on that. Until then, we have an amazing DAW called AUM. Now, I know that there are some other live performance apps that keyboard players are using, particularly in houses of worship. They may use Sunday keys, things like that. I believe that AUM gives me more functionality, still missing a few of the sweet things that Sunday keys can do, but AUM gives me a wider palette of sounds to use, and also some live recording capabilities as well. AUM is not just a performance app, it is actually a DAW that you can record in, and it's got some amazing features in there. So I'm gonna let you guys hear a little snippet of my setup. So I have on my bottom keyboard, I've got some Rhodes. I've also got some things stacked with I got some Rhodes over here. And one of the things I love about AUM is that it does give me some desktop quality formatting on my screen. So I can actually open up Windows here. Here's my Rhodes, an awesome app from Pianotech. Moddart came out with Pianotech, and this is just an amazing sound modeling app that does not take up a whole lot of space on your hard drive. It does some amazing sounds with Rhodes, pianos, and a whole lot more. But I'm gonna let you guys hear the Rhodes in there. It's just phenomenal. But here I'm gonna open up another app that I'm using for this particular event, and it's an event where there's going to be some sitting down, some eating, some jumping up, some dancing. Could be a wedding, could be a birthday party, could be anything like that. And of course, we need a little bit of saxophone. So I've got this app here from Swam Audio Modeling. Going swimming with the Swam crew, and I found this amazing flute. I got a trumpet over here that looks amazing, that sounds amazing, and also looks pretty amazing based on how the valves move when you play. And then we've also got the sax, which you're going to hear in just a couple minutes. So notice how I'm opening up windows and having multiple windows open. You can't do that in Logic. You cannot do that in GarageBand. Everything just kind of moves in as it's being used. But here in AUM, I have a lot more functionality. So I don't quite know how the developers did this. Sometimes when you see Apple present things a certain way, it's because it's a limitation of the operating system. Not so. It can be done. It's a choice. It's a choice. All right. So the developers at AUM have made this app so inexpensive, relatively free, and then you can load up all of your third-party plugins into the app and just make things sound amazing. So as you can see here, I've got several channels loaded. Okay, I've got my piano over here. This is an amazing piano. And underneath my piano, I also have a pad going. This is from Gospel Musicians, and we're taking some of the MKS sensation sounds that are so known in the gospel industry. We've loaded up a pad on underneath there, and also some strings there, and I kind of got them layered and got them on two faders here that they can I can, you know, fade up and down the palette that I like. Okay, and so I have that layered, and all of that is happening at the same time on one keyboard. And then here on my second row, I have my horns. And then on the third row, I don't think we have time for the third row, but the third row, I have some other stuff going on. I have a vocalizer up here where I can also do a little bit of live BVs, harmonizations, and stuff like that. That's for my third row, but that's for another video. Okay, so let me just let you hear a little bit of the palette, what I came up with for this event, and let me know what you think in the comments. All right, let's take a listen. All right, so what did you guys think? The possibilities here are crazy. So, of course, I have a bass player in the band. We got a live drummer in the band. We got a guitar player in the band. But right there, I'm able to be a main keys player and a solo instrument player at the same time. It's pretty cool what you can bring into a DAW and use in a live situation. So let me let you hear a little bit of the trumpet and how that sounds. And if you notice on my screen, I also have some other plugins loaded into the strip. And on my trumpet, I have a EQ. All right, and if you notice what's happening here on my EQ, let's mute that and solo the trumpet. Okay. And if we open this up, we can see and if you notice on the right hand side, I have a Expession meter that's happening. I have an EV5, Roland EV5 pedal, Expession pedal that's plugged into the controller so that we can get some of the expression out of the instrument as well. So this is all of the things that you can do live. Add some vibrato. Okay, and there's also Little flutter there. So you can stack up. You've got the raw sound from the plugin, and you've also got some effects. This effects rack is also from gospel musicians, and they do some really great effects modeling, amp modeling. They've got some great racks here. Very simple interface, a spring reverb that I put on the trumpet that you may hear in more soul music. Let's take a listen to the flute. Pretty impressed with that. There's other versions of this. Okay, so that's the flute. And of course, if I wanted to throw some extra plugins on there on my flute track, I can go ahead and slide this up and add a plugin slot. Let's go ahead and put an EQ on there. Of course, I'm using the Fab Filter EQ. That's from Fab Filter. It's a really great EQ, very clean. You can use it on all my productions pretty much. Then we've also got, I'm going to go ahead and throw on that Gospel Musicians IFX rack. Highly recommend it. Whether or not you use their full plugins or not, the effects rack is pretty cool. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that spring reverb on there as well. Now, if you want to, because we're in DAW land, if you wanted to, let's take a listen to how that sounds. Oh yeah. It's doing all the things, man. It's doing it. Okay. Yes, it's giving me a wonderful vibe here. Very breathy sound. So you can go to town here, and because we're in DAW land, you can actually set up a bus. Let's try that out. I'm going to set up a bus, and it's going to be a bus that will house my reverbs. Okay, so I can do a bus for reverbs, I can do a different bus for delays, and what I'll do is just throw that IFX reverb on there. Let's resize this window, and I can go to town with just racking up effects in this one plugin alone. But let's say this is the reverb I want to bust my other instruments into. So this will be receiving from A, and then I can add a send. I can add a send, a bus send to my A. And then I can dial in right here how much of the signal from that instrument goes to my reverbs. Now, why would I want to do that? Because I may want to save some memory or DSP. The DSP from your operating system is telling you how much of your system resources you are actually using or how much CPU you are using. It's a powerful M1 chip I have in my iPad, but it's not omnipotent. Okay, so you want to save on DSP. Using sounds that are using audio modeling versus sample triggering, they can save on memory and also save on internal space usage. So that's why I went with Pianotech and Swam. They are audio modeling software that really don't eat up your internal space and use the CPU wisely. Okay, so that's a way to save your DSP resources, is by creating a bus and then sending a signal to those buses that you set up for effects, like you would in your DAW, or like you would even in a live environment where your audio engineer may just want to set up a bus for reverbs, a bus for delays, a bus for this, a bus for that, and then route the signals the way they need to go to make everything sound nice. Busing is also a great way when you have instruments, different instruments that were maybe sampled differently or modeled differently, and they have a different palette. You can put them in the same sonic context, or you can put them in the same room simply by busing them through to one channel bus. That way it puts both instruments in the same reverb context or the same compression context. They're kind of hitting at the same within the same box, so to speak. So this is great that you can do that in a live performance setup like this. Now, AUM is not just for live performance. There is a record button, and let's say I wanted to take my live performances from my event that I'm going to be playing for, and I want to mix them down. The rest of the band can be playing. I may have a separate recording for them, or I may want to take just what I do, and it will do a multi-track recording separating each of my instruments, put them in a folder. I can bring it back to the studio, open up Logic Pro on the iPad, and have the guys come in and overdub their stuff. Or if I want it to be advantageous, I could just open up a channel for them. If you're using a digital mixer, I can have them plug right into AUM. It can mix everything right here. There's a number of ways you can do this to take your live setup and mix it down afterwards. That's going to be an experiment. Let's actually see what that will look like or sound like. That might be the next video, just to show you guys how I did that and live recorded our performances. It'll be interesting to see the results. Okay. But this is AUM. This is my live setup, and got a different angle going on here. I just want you to see what we can do with this live here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the content today, like, subscribe, please share the video. I got more videos like this coming as we continue to explore what AUM can do for a live musician or even a studio musician. All right, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Take care.